The recent deportation of Indonesian preacher Abdul Samad is indicative of an increasing segment of Singaporean Chinese population that is coming from Communist Party China, who have been raised and indoctrinated with the Communist Party of China's ethos, and these people are in Singapore. If you are coming from mainland China and you're not familiar with the region, you will obviously act like a guest, and you will obviously act as if every little thing is a red flag and a concern for religious harmony or terrorism or whatever, because this is what we see that's happening to the Uyghur. They are acting as if the Chinese and the Indians in this region is just recently interacting with Muslims. We have had Indians and Chinese in this entire region for centuries, and we have coexisted and tolerated one another for centuries. There are places of worship, there are public holidays that are dedicated to the different religious groups in both Indonesia and Malaysia and the region. So this is not something new, and we do not need Singapore to teach the region on how to practice religious tolerance or religious harmony. And then back to the reasons that was published in the Berita Harian newspaper for rejecting entry of this preacher's entry into Singapore. Firstly, the term kafir was used in his speeches to refer to the non-believers. Every religion has a term that is peculiar to its own religion to refer to non-believers. So if your decision to refuse somebody entry because he used the term that is correctly used for non-believers makes me concerned about what you think of Muslims in Singapore, indigenous populations who are Muslims in Singapore, who hold on to the same beliefs that are religiously valid. So are you going to strip them off of their citizenship and deport them? What is the thinking behind here? The Singapore government is acting like a pendatang in this regard. Okay, so it is a cause for concern. The Chinese and the Indians take offense when they are referred to as pendatang, but then you act like that. When you act like a pendatang, how do you expect to be treated then? You act like a newcomer in this region, and you don't know, and you act like you don't understand how things work around here. The Chinese and Indian population in this region are only here because of the welcoming nature of the indigenous population. They don't need to be taught about tolerance. They have been in existence for centuries. But now you want to impose intolerance by characterizing widely held Muslim beliefs as extreme, even though these very beliefs, have not prevented them from getting along with all of you for centuries. I think Singapore needs to check the influence of CCP indoctrinated immigrants into Singapore, who have been accepted into mainstream Singapore as citizens, because they are turning Singapore into a regional embarrassment. And that's today's notes from the future's past.